Welcome to the newest episode of Dragon Quest Boppy Podcast. I am Boppy, and this is...
Pendy. How's it going, everybody?
So I don't know if you guys know this, but this guy over here, I'm pretty sure, if you don't know who he is, that's crazy. But would you be able to introduce yourself, Mr. Pendy?
So I am Pendy. I'm one of the co-hosts for the Slime Time network of podcasts. That's something that I do now frequently in the community. We have the regular Slime Time show. We have side quests where we talk about whatever. And then we have Tactfully Dai, which is my specialty, where we talk about everything that's going on in the world of Tact. And we review some episodes of Dai and talk about everything going on in the world of Dai.
Yes. Thank you so much. Obviously, guys, if you haven't checked them out, we'll also give you another plug at the end. But check the Slime Time out. Check out Tactfully Dai. Obviously, you're a Dai fan. I mean, we could see your awesome wall there and some cool collectibles.
Yes.
Respect.
See and a lot of this I was able to get in Japan too. I was very lucky.
Ooh, that's cool.
Some of it I ordered online, but some of it I was able to get in Japan, especially some of these Japanese manga books.
Oh my gosh. Do you read Japanese or?
No, I don't know one word of it. I know how to say thank you, hello, goodbye, things like that when speaking. And I've been to Japan a few times. That's all you really need to know. When you go to places like Tokyo or Osaka, very English friendly, very tourist friendly for people who don't really speak the language. But I know just a few phrases to be polite,
Ooh, good to know. Yeah, that's all good information because I'm planning on possibly being there in April, at the end of April.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me know if that's going to be confirmed. I'll tell you all the great places to go for Dragon Quest stuff.
Heck yes. Let's definitely, I need to know. So appreciate that. Okay, so Mr. Pendy, let's get to know who you are. Again, if people don't know who you are, that's crazy. But still, let me ask you some questions. So our main topic, as you guys know, you clicked on the video, we're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite Dragon Quest Dai characters. But before that, I'm going to ask Pendy some questions. So first things first, when did you get into Dai? Dragon Quest Dai, that is.
Oh, into Dai? So that would have been when the new anime was coming out. I remember when there was previews coming out for it, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this looks amazing. And so I started watching the anime. I started buying the manga as it came out to America. I even went back and, was it the 1991 anime? I went back and watched all of that. I still need to watch one of the movies about the generals or something like that. I think the third one. Ooh. But I've watched almost all of the old anime too. I found fan translated subtitles for it and watched it that way.
Respect. Dang, that's cool. I also got into it that time as well. The 2020 anime was coming out. I didn't watch the 1991 version until later. I still haven't watched all of it. I am kind of wanting to. But that's cool, man. Good. Sweet.
Oh yeah, the 91 one, the 91 anime is interesting just for the music alone.
Oh my!
Remixed Dragon Quest music from the games, very very different, but very cool to listen to.
I occasionally listen to those tracks when I'm working out or something. They're pretty cool. I agree. Yeah. I really like the music. That's what's up, bro. So, how long has Slime Time been a thing? And how long have you been part of Slime Time?
Since near the beginning. So this is basically the third iteration, I believe, of Slime Time. They started it up a couple of times with different hosts, just a few episodes. Back then we had some people, I remember, I haven't listened to all of it, but there's an episode where they're talking about, I just can't wait until we get Dragon Quest X when that comes out here. Little did we know. But there was our third iteration, which we're into now, has been going on for a few years now. God, we're in the hundreds now for episodes, and I was in Korea. I believe I was in Korea at the time when they started. And when I was in Korea, I was able to do those trips to Japan I referenced earlier. And I got to see some fantastic things in Japan. I got to see, before he passed, I got to see Koichi Sugiyama in concert, as he was the conductor for that particular concert. They did the Dragon Quest III soundtrack plus some bonus tracks.
That's sick.
Which was great. Remember Your Story, Dragon Quest Your Story?
Yes.
When that movie came out in Japan, I got to go see that in Japanese theaters.
Oh, that's so cool, bro.
Yeah, it was like I said, I don't know any Japanese, so I'm sitting there in the theater and watching a Japanese movie. But I've played Dragon Quest V. I know it like the back of my hand, so I know what's going on until the ending, where I'm like, I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Wow, yeah, I can't even imagine seeing that in a language you don't understand. You're like, is that Nimzo? Yeah. What's going on?
Well, yeah, who's this guy? Who's this Joker? What's going on here? Yeah, so that was very interesting. And to see the crowds react to it too. Everyone was, the Japanese crowd, even they were like, why? What?
Like, Nani?
What is this thing? So they were surprised as well. But anyways, so I got to do some fantastic experiences among some other stuff that's Dragon Quest related. And I'd met some of the podcasters. It was founded by Platty and Liam. And they're the two guys that founded the podcast, and they invited me on as a guest to talk about my experience in Japan. And from that, I got to go on Side Quests, which is where we talk about anything, video games, movies, whatever. I was a constant guest on that show. And then I got into Tact and I got into Dai, right? And I didn't think there was a lot of respect out there for those two properties, especially with podcasts. So I was like, I'm going to do my own show, and I'm going to do Tact and Dai. I'm call it Tactfully Dai.
Smart.
And then Platty reached out to me because he knew I was thinking about it. He's like, hey, why don't you become part of the Slime Time Network? So you can be our third show. We'll have the main show, Side Quest, and Tactfully Dai. And I was like, oh, great, thank you. That's awesome. So I reached out to someone that I knew through Facebook Dragon Quest groups, Paul, or Eastex Twitch, and I'd known him through there. He was a teacher. And I know he was into Dai and Tact as well. So I was like, hey, do you want to be my co-host? He's like, sure, I've done this stuff before. And he writes for some video game websites. He does like a co-op website,
cool.
Review site or something like that. So we got together, made the show, and have been doing it ever since. I think we just finished, we're on 17 or 18 episodes so far, about halfway through the 2020 anime. Ooh. And have been part of a slime, and then through there I was able to do main episodes and co-host and lead and come up with guests and things like that. So I've been an integral part of the show since then. Wow,
that's super cool. Thank you. Yeah, when I was actually getting into Dragon Quest, I say this all the time. It's been more than 5 years now, but I remember the moment I was really in love with it, which was basically when I got into it, I was looking for anything Dragon Quest, anybody talking about it, anybody just making videos, podcasts, whatever. And obviously, you guys were one of the the most popular ones, or the most popular one. I know that there's also Puff Hour. I know we talked about this in when I was on your show. And then Dragon Quest FM, and then yes. So I was absorbing as much Dragon Quest stuff as I could, and so it was really cool to listen to all those years ago, and now here you are, bro. Thank you. So
I know, and it goes back so much farther than that, because we're a product basically of the Dragon's Den website. Mm-hmm. And Dragon's Den website has been around since 1998, if you can imagine. It's one of the old school sites that's been around since pretty much the beginning of the internet. You know what I mean? That's forever ago. And Woodis, who runs that site, he's an IT guy, it's on his own server. He's been running that site, like I said, for decades. And so we're kind of like an offshoot of that website. And It's been amazing. If you want to go to their Discord or their forums, or just all the informational things that you can find for Dragon Quest at the website is amazing. There's so many different resources that website has.
Yeah, I've personally been to that website a ton. Dragon's Den. Shout out to Woodis. Shout out to all the work he's been doing for literally decades. If you guys need anything Dragon Quest, definitely head over to Dragon's Den. So that's awesome. Thank you. Cool, man. Okay, so let me ask just one more question before we get into our main topic. This is very important. Bianca, Nera, or Deborah?
Oh, get me with the bride question, huh?
Sorry, bro. I just had to.
So this is an easy one for me. It's Deborah. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I just think that her character is just absolutely hilarious. That's the best thing I love about her. Like, she starts out like so mean and is trying to put you down, but she evolves over time, and she gets to kind of know you, and she likes you, and eventually she admires you. And it just, in the meantime, just the funny things that she says to put you down are just hilarious. So that's when they brought her in some of the remakes. I was like, this is my girl. Deborah's my favorite, and I love the design too, like the long, black fancy hair with the flowers and the red dress and all that. I think it's a great, fantastic design. So I love that as well.
Cool. Good. I think you're my first official guest that actually had the gall to choose her. So I respect that. It's cool. No, I actually respect that.
I was gonna say that's not the kind of relationship I would want in real life, but in a video game, it's fine.
Yeah, totally cool. No, I was gonna say I really, after, I still have never chosen Deborah in a playthrough, but after really hearing like her character arc and development, I've definitely grown to at least appreciate or respect the people that do choose her. So that's awesome. I respect.
Oh yeah, they got to create her much later, so they had more time to kind of come up with a better character arc and kind of cook it a little bit. So that was it's pretty nice.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's cool. Great, man. Great choice. Okay, let's move on to the main topic. By the way, I told my wife right when I got the script for the Slime Time episode. I had to tell my wife. I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. They're making fun of me. I love it in the intro. So thank you. And now we're talking about a top 5. This is perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
I love this style for a show, so I had to kind of try it myself. And I thought it worked out not too bad.
Yeah, I loved it. Okay, so number 5. Okay, top 5. So we're both gonna talk about our top 5, who our favorite character is. If I didn't already mention this is going to contain heavy spoilers. I'm just throwing it out there. So if anyone, go watch the show first and then come back, or I don't know, but it's gonna have spoilers. I'm just telling you that right now. So, all right, I'll start with my number 5 first, and then I'll give you the floor. So my number 5 is Avon. So, Mr. Avon. Avon's the man, dude. At first, at the beginning of the story, we only had like 3 episodes with him, but that time was so like impactful on Dai, and then obviously the rest of the disciples he's had throughout his hero tutor profession, that he was referenced throughout the whole story, like just because of how, again, I think just his personality, his teaching style. I mean, who he was is obvious that anyone would want to look up to him, but he was just such a cool character. It was sad what happened in the beginning, right? And then, but again, he left such a strong footprint in the world that everyone always either referenced him, talked about him, were still scared of him, looked up to him, and because of his teachings, his disciples became such a strong force to be reckoned with and left a huge impact in the world. So I thought that was really cool. Fast forward to much later, when he showed up, it was funny. I still had, when I was reacting to the episodes, when he showed up again, people were saying like, Papi, get ready for this. And I was like, what the heck is going to happen? And he showed up and I was like, oh my gosh, what? So that was really cool. And then also his kind of like function in the group was really cool. He wasn't the strongest anymore, but he served as like a really strong pillar in that, in the team still to that day. And then I also like how he kind of passed on his torch to Leona. I thought that was really cool too. But anyways, overall, Avon is awesome. And so anyways, that's why he's my number 5. So, yeah.
Well, great minds think alike, because my number 5 is also Avon.
Whoa, respect.
Yes. So everything that you mentioned, of course, but just his style is great as well. I mean, how can you disrespect that kind of hair that he has? Like, look at it. Just look at the hair that he has. That's that style. His clothing, and I loved how it was similar but different in like a different color when he came back, like a lighter colors instead of the red. Oh, and then the fact that he could do the Dragon Quest ability of Puff, of turning into a dragon.
Yes.
That was great.
Oh my god.
That was great. He still had his little spectacle on his nose.
Loved it.
But his style was great. Like you said, he's a consummate teacher. He's got so much humor to him as well. I just love some of the introductory scenes where he's just introducing himself and the goofy way that he does it, or the way he's like running around the island doing that big spell to keep the bad magic out. He's wrong.
Oh my
all that
gosh.
stuff. But yeah, and like you said, when he comes back, that was great. And he was more of a support character then. But that fight he had with Kilvern, oh my god, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
How they were playing chess with each other basically,
yeah.
in terms of trying to outthink the other one and out-trick the other one. That was great. I loved that so much, and that was just good stuff. So Vaughn, also my number 5.
Respect. I don't know if you remember this, but there was a clip of Avon in the anime when it was after he realized he wasn't dead, and it showed him in the water.
Yes, I remember that.
And it actually showed his hair long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I hate his hairdo the way he usually does it, but I gotta say, when his hair was long, I was like, yo, he looks freaking handsome as hell, bro. Like he looked good. Oh yes. Oh,
the first volume of the Avon prequel book, which I hope in some way or fashion could come over to the U.S. in English. I would love to see that. Or if they make an anime out of it, man, wouldn't that be great? The Avon prequel anime?
Oh.
Like, get out of town. Let's go.
Dude, yeah, I've read a couple of of those chapters, thanks to some guys that translate them.
The fan books, yeah.
And they're good, bro. I really hope they come over here. That's why I'm also hoping Infinity Stretch does well, so we get more of that stuff. But
yeah, fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, bro. Cool, man. Awesome. So we got the same number 5. Well, I guess we'll see if we have the rest of the same, the rest of the...
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 4. Where did I write it down? I already forgot. Goodness gracious. Here it is. Oh, okay. My number 4 is the Croc Man, as Dai calls him.
Nice.
Crocodile, our boy. So Crocodile, dude, that's my boy right there. I mean, like, the way that, like, basically his I love especially, okay, I'm thinking way too fast right now. So I love his whole, like, redemption arc and, like, situation. Even his attack, which Baduk, helped him name from, Beast King Anguish Blast to Beast King Redemption Blast. I thought that was so cool. It's like a little touch of really showing us that he's grown, and he's really just like come to the light, basically. And then just everything he's been able to accomplish. He was the one that helped Hyunkul go onto the right path as well. As a support for the heroes, eventually he became like just incredibly helpful for them. In the Baran arc as well, he was just a pillar of just helping Baran see the light, sort of thing as well. He just helped so much with like a lot of bro stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just so cool, and he was pretty useful and important. And I'm not saying he wasn't important or useful by the end, but he had his different sense of being important, I guess. Not in the so much super main fight, but as a whole, supporting the good guys. He did a great job. So I just really like his whole character arc. And he got called out at first for, he says he's a warrior and he prides himself of it, but he's stooping so low, because of Zaibora, which I hate that guy so much. I really hope you don't have him on your top 5.
Oh, he's number 1. No.
Oh, no. But anyways, Crocodile, incredible character. So there you go, number 4.
So my number 4 is actually the good buddies with your number 4, and I'm going to use my shirt as the reveal.
Whoa!
But Hyunkul.
Where the heck did you get that shirt, bro?
I got this in Japan, in my last trip to Japan.
Oh my gosh. You got to tell me the store. I got to get it.
I will. There's there's a bunch of different anime shirt stores that I found when I was there in my last trip, and they had all sorts of Dai shirts. They had a Flazard shirt. They even had oh god, who was Hyunkul's first father figure
Bartos?
when he was a baby? What's that?
Bartos.
They even had a Bartos shirt.
Dude. I need to buy.
I was shocked.
I got to take a full suitcase, empty suitcase, so I can just bring back so much merch.
Yeah, if you're going there in the spring, I mean the game's just coming out, so there probably should still be some shirts that you can find in the stores.
I'm doing it.
Bet you'll be able to find it. I'll help you out with that too. Yeah, but yeah. So Hyunkul is my number 4. I love his style. I love his redemption, just like how Crocodile had his own path of redemption. I love how he's always pushing himself to be the very best, even if it's sacrificing his own body to do so. He doesn't care. He is so guilty about how he used to be and what he became that he will do anything, whether it kills him, to help out Dai and go after the forces of the army of darkness. Like he is just so great. I love the armor designs that he has throughout the series, especially in the beginning with his sword and everything like that can turn into armor. I love his abilities like that. I like how he's always doing like these great like one-on-one battles with different characters throughout the series. Those are usually very, very entertaining.
Oh yeah.
I was always kind of disappointed where one of the 3 mages, I forget her name. There's like there's like the 2 sisters, and one of the sisters is like really has a
Amy.
big crush on him.
Amy.
Like Kelly's like, yeah, you can't deal with you right now. I was like, oh, come on, give her a chance. But he's Mr. Tough Guy, and I just love his story arc throughout the series. That's my number 4.
Respect. Yeah, I personally I think he needs to be with Mom. So every time Amy was trying to get at him, I was like, dude, just walk away, bro. Yeah. Just walk away, bro. I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, Mom and Hyunkul, bro. Mom and Hyunkul. But anyway.
Yeah, I know, and that could have been the thing too. But that was always hilarious, because I loved how, and thank you for reminding me, I loved how Pop was so annoyed by him all the time because he was jealous. He was too cool for him, and he was like, he just couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand it at all.
Yeah, that was freaking
And then,
hilarious.
my favorite moment with Pop and Uncle would be when Pop is injured. He's like, I could use some healing too, and they just throw like a bag of medical
Right at his face.
He's munching on it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was great, dude. They have great moments like that. But speaking of Pop, that's my number 3.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Can you say good segue? So Pop's my number 3. I freaking love Pop, bro. He's just fantastic. It's funny because I know it's kind of a meme. There's people that talk about how his arc of like becoming powerful is like the most ridiculous in anime history. He becomes like so powerful so fast. But still, I don't care. I mean, I think he's awesome. I do like that during the show there was kind of times where they kind of like in a way explained how powerful each character was. Because like for example, I don't remember exactly the spell they talked about, but Pop would say like, "Oh, I can do Midroa like another 2 or 3 times. That's how much MP I have or whatever." And so you got, right, and so you can kind of calculate, okay, Midroa cat, takes this much MP, so he's probably, around this level or whatever, so you can kind of gauge his like MP or whatever. But he was freaking powerful, dude. Up until the end, in the beginning he was a little turd, bro. He was a little turd, but the moment he like, oh man, his character growth and arc was amazing. Like after he truly like accepted, Avon's teachings, and he realized what it means to be a hero. He really just changed completely and just skyrocketed in growth and also just he just became so cool, especially at the end. He was so important for Dai, and just really helped Dai reach his full potential. I think if it wasn't for Pop, like, the whole world would have died, blown up. But he's just such a cool, vital, character within the group, and then just overall, and then all of his comedic moments, like you said, were just I had laugh out loud moments multiple times with him. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Oh yeah, that's a good choice. He, I think a big reason why he was able to get so powerful so fast is that he just never applied himself. And once he applied himself, he had the best teachers and mentors in the world. Like he had the best mage in the world. He had the best teacher in Avon. So I think it's just a matter of once he was able to actually try hard, then that's why he was able to, become as powerful as he did. Because he always had it, and he just never gave it a good shot.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I gotta say, for my number 3 is actually gonna be Gome-chan.
Oh, Gome-chan.
Beautiful Gome-chan, our beautiful golden slime. So this character to me is just so freaking adorable. I just love Gome-chan. I love how Gome-chan just helps out here and there, and he saves the day. I love his little pew 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 sound that he makes and all of that, whether it be the dub or the sub. That's great too. He's such a great friend to Dai. And I gotta say, when we find out in the very end, almost towards like one of the last episodes of the show, I think, of what he actually is, that just blew my mind. I was not expecting that. I mean, I knew he had something special going on, but not that. So that was one of my favorite episodes of the show ever. Was when we find out that Gome-chan is like a gift from the gods, and that like he just bonded with Dai right when he came to Earth. And cool. That's why he was able to do what he did, how he's able to heal people, how he's able to see Pop in the underworld and talk to him and things of that nature. Like all of that just came to a head. It's like, oh, that's why he would do what he could do, and it makes total sense now. And it was fantastic. And then this sacrifice, so sad. I may have teared up a little bit in that episode because of that.
I agree.
But in the design he's got, the little wings, golden slime's great too. It's just a great character. That's why he's my number 3.
Wow, respect. Great choice. Honestly, great choice. Love it. Okay, let's move on to number 2. So, my number 2 is Hunkle, actually.
Oh, there we go.
So, listen, man. Everything you said about him, 100% agree with. For me, I place him on my number 2 because basically I want to be him, bro. Like, he's just the coolest dude ever, bro. Like, and I said this on our episode, but all the girls want him, all the boys want him. Like, everyone wants to be his friend, everyone wants to be around him. And he's got that like bad boy, like, nah, don't talk to me, like I'm busy right now, or like I'm gonna go train on my own, or I'm gonna do this. But at the end of the day, he was always so dedicated to the team, and he was basically like the big brother, is kind of how I see him. And again, thanks to Crocodile and kind of setting him up in the right path. Because he basically just wanted to end it. He was like, I lost all my honor. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm going to end it, sort of thing. And Crocodile was like, bro, no, don't do that. And he set him straight. And, yeah, dude, Hunkle just became a freaking just incredible just motivator for the whole team, for the good guys. And just, like, I really like when Yvonne came back. And he noticed that Hunkle was now the guy. Like, he was like, oh, like, he's the man now. Like, he's grown up so much. He kind of took his spot as, like, who everyone kind of, like, depends on in a way. And so that's why he, like, stayed back when everyone went forward. And that's why even, like, Hunkle was kind of, like, being a little rude to Yvonne. But, it was all, like, love, but, like, in a respectful way. And Yvonne knew that. And so, anyway, just, like, everything that happened with Hunkle was always so cool. Just, like, all the bros he made and all. It was just so cool. Like, he basically was the main character a lot of the time. But yeah, I love Hunkle, so.
Yeah, he's a good character.
Oh, yeah. And I will say his dark armor sword is way cooler than the dark armor spear, but still, he still looks cool in anything. So.
Oh no, I agree. Yeah, I'm guessing why they put the sword on the shirt.
Oh yeah,
that is a great design.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, for me, for my number 2, I have a prop for this because I have some spoilers in the background here. So my number 2 is actually going to be this guy over here. Blazar.
Really? Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, my list is not all good guys.
Interesting.
So the reason I love Blazar so much is because he is just so diabolically evil. And just his style of how he goes about things and how brutal he is very interesting. Like, he is trying to be the best of the best. He wants to please his creator, Hadlar. And he will do anything it takes to please his creator and just become the best that there is in the Army of Darkness. Like, he is such. I love his style. Like, he's got the half magma, the half ice.
It's sick.
And I just love that look to it. I love that he has both abilities that he can use at will. I like how he fights. I like how he can just explode and he can turn into little bits. His whole arc of how he tries to defeat Dai and company and how he gets desperate at the end and he gets put in that big magic armor is very cool. So I don't admire Blazar one bit. Like, he's a totally brutal, evil character. He will kill you, if you just look at him wrong. And even if you don't look at him wrong, he'll probably just kill you just for fun, But I like the character. I think they did a really good job of making him such a fantastic villain. I think he's one of the biggest challenges that they run into in that series, and I think it was very well done the way they did that character.
Dude, I respect it. I like your choice because when I started to really respect Flazard was when he was like, when the heroes found out that the attack he was doing, the shrapnel attack, where he was splitting himself up, was also hurting him. And even mom was like, why are you doing this? Like, stop, like, hurting yourself, sort of thing. And like, we really got to learn like his motivations and like his sort of like why he's doing what he's doing. You know, he wants accomplishments. He wants to be, you know, noticed. He wants to, like, he's only been living for a year, and like he's desperate to show that he's the best. He wants to be the best. So I think that's really cool. Really cool choice. I definitely did not see that coming, but I respect it. Okay. Are you ready for number one? How about this? Why don't you guess? Who do you think my number one is?
Oh, well, geez. You know, you're in the top. Uncle.
I gave you a big hint on our episode, by the way.
Oh, no. I'm going to go with Dai.
Nope.
Dang it.
It's all good. It's all good. So, Baran.
Oh, that's right. Now I feel foolish because I remember you talking about Baran and how I'll let you go then because you talked about him on my show. I remember that now.
Dude, yeah, no worries. So, Baran, bro, is the freaking coolest dude of all time. And I think for me personally, I might have a little bit of like bias towards him. You know, me, you know, being a father, and just knowing how much I love my boys. Because at the end of the day, it might not seem like it at face value, but Baran freaking loves Dai, bro. Like, his whole point was to look for Dino in the world. He was looking for him. That was the promise he made to his wife, the mother of Dai, and he was on a mission to find him. And he couldn't find him, and he was like broken inside, and he decided to just go nuts against humanity. And so at the end of the day, although he did some crazy stuff I don't agree with, I feel for him. Like, I really do, because I think he was just, you know, and it was cool because Hunkel like really just stood up to him and was basically called him out, like, bro, you're hurting. I know you're hurting. And like, he didn't want to accept it at that point, but he just freaked out, went Dragonoid mode, which was awesome. Dude, those animations for those episodes were incredible.
They're great.
And just Baran's whole arc was so cool. I think he was just such a cool character overall. I really liked seeing, you know, his flashbacks with, you know, when he was actually happy. And then the horrible situation that happened to make him cause, you know, what happened to happen, you know. And again, I don't agree with the way when he found out Dai was his son, he was trying to get him on his team. But, you know, I'm glad Dai was able to overpower his mindset in the sense of, like, you know, he told Baran he was wrong, and I want to do it this way. And eventually Baran accepted it and respected his decision. And they even got to a point where it was like father and son, and they did some awesome, you know, adventuring together and did some awesome fight scenes. It didn't last too long, unfortunately, but it was still so cool to see his growth and him be able to be with his son again, for a little bit of time at least. So, and then after that, he just became so important to Dai, you know. And just, yeah, he's just so awesome. I freaking love Baran. His design's awesome. His arc, his growth, everything about him is just my favorite. So, yeah, there's my number one.
That's a good choice. He is a great character. And, yeah, it did take a long time for him to come around. Even in the face of the truth, he's like, you know what? No, screw it. I'm still going to do what I want to do until much later. But this is a great character. Yeah. So my number one, again, I had spoilers up here, is
nice.
Mom or Man, depending on whether you're watching the sub or the dub, since they like to pronounce it differently.
This is
so
true.
That is my number one character.
Respect.
She is amazing. I like everything about her. I like the way that she acts, like the way their character is. I like how her hilarious interactions that we talked about before with Pop. She's not afraid to beat the crap out of him when he gets out of line, whether he's trying to run away or whether he's trying to be a little pervy or whatever. I love, so something I love about the show is how they take advantage of Dragon Quest III class changes, which is where that came from. And the fact that she class changes from being kind of like a healer slash like a fighter healer into a martial artist, I thought was amazing. And martial artists in RPGs and especially in Dragon Quest games are like my favorite character class.
Oh, cool.
In Dragon Quest. So that has a lot to do with it too. And I love the design that they get her for her martial artist uniform. It's fantastic.
So
just
cool.
Love the look of that.
Oh yeah.
But and I love how she takes a step back. She's like, you know what? I'm not as powerful as I should be to help out Dai and Company. I need to improve myself. So she goes out, she finds the biggest, baddest martial artist master out there deep in the woods, and she hooks up with, she becomes friends with Chu. So we get Chu out of that the whole development, who's also a funny character.
Oh yeah.
And she becomes the most badass martial artist you'll ever see. Some of the early fight scenes where she really lets loose on some of the minions out there, especially I want to say in the Sovereign Rock Castle episodes where she goes to town on some of those restless armors. Oh my god! And there's like pink fire coming out of her eyes. Wow, some of those action scenes are fantastic.
Dude, yeah.
But yeah, that is my favorite character in all of Dai. She's actually one of my best characters in Tact right now.
Oh,
she
sick!
Can follow up attacks. She can do her attack in the show where she uses like healing power to use that as a weapon,
Fracture Fist,
which is great, and it prevents enemies in Tact from being able to heal themselves.
That's awesome.
Which is consistent with the show. So stuff like that is great. So I can't wait to be able to use her character and other people that felt like Yunkel in the upcoming Infinity Stretch game. That's going to be a lot of fun doing that. And we get to use not only her first form, but her second form too in that game. So that'll be great.
Yeah, I remember when it was first announced, Infinity Strash, and I saw they only showed, the warrior priest mom. I was like, oh man, she's not gonna be. Is she not gonna be martial artist mom? Dang it! And then they finally showed just that little clip of her being in her martial artist. I was like, yes, that's by far best mom. So, yeah. That's so cool, bro. Awesome choice. Awesome top 5. I respect it. I'm glad that we have different top 5s, Our number 5 started out being the same, but,
Yes.
So that's cool. Okay, well, that's it for the main segment. Let us know what your guys' top 5 looks like. Is it completely different than ours? Is it somewhat similar? We'd love to know what it is. Let us know. So let's just basically, I think, let me just ask you one more question and we'll call it. How about that?
Okay, sure.
So, this is kind of like the ending segment. What other sort of games or anime or things do you like to watch or play besides Dragon Quest?
So I do like a lot of anime, and right now I'm still finishing up the latest season of Demon Slayer. So I've got a few more episodes in that.
Respect.
I loved Attack on Titan. I can't wait until the final episode comes out later in the fall. One of my some classics from back in the day I loved were like Cowboy Bebop and Trigun, things like that. Something I'm watching now that I love, not anime, but animated, is I'm watching Disenchantment. I'm watching the final season of that.
Oh,
and
I've heard of that.
That's the Matt Groening show, the guy who did Simpsons and Futurama. It's on Netflix, and it's the final season going on right now, and it just dropped, I don't know, like a few weeks ago, so I'm making my way through that, and it's so far really good. A lot of very fun. This show. If you like the kind of stuff you see in Futurama and Simpsons, but you want to see it in like a medieval type style, and they get to let loose a little bit more because it's Netflix, it's good stuff.
Respect. That's cool.
Oh,
man.
And then you said video games too, and playing the Dragon Quest Monsters demo.
Yeah.
And that's been a lot of fun. Put 10 hours into that, and it's been great.
Have you beaten the Cyclops yet?
Yes, I have.
What?
Actually.
Respect.
So the green dragon and the lumbering lizard cleaned my clock. Couldn't beat them. But the Cyclops I got.
You
I
got
was able to
him.
put together a team with like sleep attacks, paralysis, and poison. And poison does a lot. It takes like 50
Really?
HP off a turn. That was in
Wow.
magic attacks. Because if you try and hit him, well, at least when I tried to hit him physically, I was doing like 0 HP, 1 HP if I was lucky. But I could chip away with magic and poison and paralyze, and then and do like there's different like blind abilities that make his accuracy go down, so he whiffs. So that was the keys that I didn't get like clocked by his humongous attacks.
Yeah.
So I was able to figure that one out.
Dude, yeah, so that was my strategy. What I was trying to do, this was before I went into like the Nadiria, or however you pronounce that place.
Yeah.
I was trying to like lower his accuracy and then hit him with
Yes.
magic attacks, and I was able to kind of chip away at some damage because just attacking him physically was just not working. But I never went back afterwards, and so I still have to try and do that. But one more question: can you actually scout him?
No, the 3 large monsters you can't scout in the demo. That's
Darn.
that's one of the limitations for it. A lot of people are excited to be like, oh, I can get a Cyclops. Like, no, I think a little screen comes up and says I can't
Oh,
scout or whatever.
okay.
But yeah, that's one of the few you can't.
Okay. Well, whatever. I mean, that's how it is. That's fine.
Yeah,
We'll get him when the game comes out.
exactly.
Cool. So, just real quick. So, I don't have too much time to watch anime anymore, but when I do have a little bit of time, I like to watch the live action One Piece has actually been better than I thought.
I heard a lot of people love that. It's one of the best. I mean, not that it's a high bar, but like probably the best live action that Netflix has ever put out.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, it's actually surprisingly good. So I'm enjoying that. And then the actual One Piece anime, I've always been watching since years and years and years. So still enjoying that. And then that's basically it in terms of like watching stuff. And then playing, I've just been playing basically Dragon Quest. Lots of Dragon Quest 10, Dragon Quest 11 and 3 and Monsters demo and blah blah blah. And yeah. And then I've been playing some Poke MMO as well. That's been fun. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
And with the Dragon Quest stuff, you've been streaming a lot of that, right?
Yeah, so I basically stream every night, Monday to Friday, and I'll stream a different sort of game. I'm doing different challenges. Like 11S, I'm doing like 100% completion. On 3, I'm doing like a Nuzlocke challenge where if one of my party members die, they're dead for good. And then if the hero dies, I have to restart the whole playthrough, which I've already done once, and that was just harsh. It was just harsh. And then 10 online, I'm just playing. I've met a lot of cool people doing that, and then yeah, so it's been fun. It's been a good time.
It's great.
Yeah. So, Mr. Pendy, thank you so much for being on my show. Guys, again, if you don't know who Pendy is, then you're insane. It's crazy. How are you even a Dragon Quest fan? It's insane. But if you really don't know who he is and you want to check him out, head on over to the Slime Time. Check him out on podcast on Tactically Die. Is there anything else that you want to plug or that you might be on that you want to share?
So it's not quite out yet, but hopefully should be out soon. We were able to interview the producer for Infinity Strash. Yeah. He came in on Zoom, and we had a translator. It's the guy who helped produce the game. We had a fantastic interview with him, so look for that. If it's not out already, it should be out soon. So we had a lot of great questions for him, and he was a fantastic guest.
That's awesome. Yes. Great. Okay. Pendy, thanks again for being on the show. Everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe, please. That would be awesome. And that's it for today's episode. So we'll see you guys next time. Peace.